Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Another isolated dictator shows up to the party. It seems like the club of the dictators is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They close ranks now. What's going on with this? All these isolated misfits get together. Now, it's the so-called butcher Assad shows up in China pretty soon. Putin goes to China. Assad goes to China, the president of Syria. I was just kidding, obviously. And many others. Was it Maduro in China a few days ago? A week or two ago? Yes, he was. So Venezuela. The Venezuelan president went to China. Let me show you. This guy goes to China. Putin goes to China. Kim Jong-un goes to Russia. So what's going on here? Hey, you know what's going on. Wasn't the Iranian's president? Didn't he visit China? Was it Raisi? Wasn't he? Anyway, doesn't really matter. My friends, I told you the story with isolation. Like 3 people isolate 190. Who's isolated? We also isolated all of you, and we're 3 out of 195. Obviously, you isolated yourself, my friends. So this is Al Capone and his weasel states. So let's see what this article has to say. It is from September 19th, 2023. Syria's Assad will visit China as Beijing boosts its reach in the Middle East. Yeah, that's how he boosts his... and how about Venezuela is in the Middle East as well? Jesus Christ. But hey, they have to make it Associated Press. What do you want? They have to make it like that. Give their spin to the real problem, because it's the way these guys do. Hey, are you gonna cooperate? This is what these guys are doing. They give a spin as if, oh, it's okay. The bomb is falling, but we still have time. And I don't think once it hits the ground or it explodes in the air, like the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it's all right. It's not gonna do any damage. Just relax. Go to work, consume, shut the hell up, and watch stupid TV with The View and the games, and drink Bud Light. You'll be fine. This is how these guys are portraying many insuccesses or failures of their weasel governments. Syria's President Bashar Assad will head to China later this week. Oh my! Woohoo! In his first visit to Beijing since the start of his country's 12-year conflict, during which China has been one of his main backers. Boris Becker or no? His office said Tuesday. China has been expanding its reach in the Middle East after mediating a deal in March between Saudi Arabia and Iran. And it continues to support Assad in the Syrian conflict. Syrian conflict, who against whom? Syrian conflict. Fueled by whom? Which has killed 500,000 people and left large parts of the nation in ruins, and American military as well. They just left over there. They came without being invited, and they're still there. Like a guest that you never invited, and is still here. You want to go to bed? Still here. You can't do anything because you're going to punch you in the face. Al Capone, that's exactly what they are waiting. Unless you have China, Russia, who was invited, to defend you from the entity that brings freedom and democracy and sovereignty to all the countries in the world, including Syria. All right, so China could play a major role in the future in Syria's reconstruction. First, the occupying forces of the United States and its allies need to go, and then they can start the reconstruction. But hey, they will not go, and we have problems. Wherever the Americans are coming, it seems like they have little problems that the Americans are solving. Never. Look how they solved in Iraq. Everything is cool over there. Or in Afghanistan. Or in Libya. Everything is A-okay. Wherever these guys go, everything gets fixed yesterday. So in Syria's reconstruction, which is expected to cost tens of billions of dollars, Syria last year joined China's Belt and Road Initiative, in which Beijing expands its influence in developing regions through infrastructure projects. because those guys, those countries, those nations are sick of too much freedom and democracy brought by the Americans. They got kicked in the teeth and spoke down so many times that obviously they look for someone who will treat them, I would say, with more dignity. Just a gut feeling, that's one of the reasons. Assad's office said the Syrian leader was invited by Chinese President Xi Jinping for a summit and will head Thursday to Beijing along with a high-ranking Syrian delegation. Diplomatic contacts between Syria and other Arab countries have intensified following the February 6th earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria, killing more than 50,000 people. That's not true. They've been working on this one before that. Not this year, last year. But anyway, including over 6,000 in Syria, Assad fled to Saudi Arabia in May after he attended the Arab League summit days after Syria's membership was reinstated in the 22nd member league. Since Syria's conflict pushed in March 2011 with pro-democracy protesters and later turned into a civil war, Iran and Russia have helped Assad regain control of much of the country at the legitimate government's request, my boy. Got that? All right. Unlike Americans and the forces of good who just landed over there and said, what are you gonna do? Nothing. I thought so. But we bring freedom and democracy, and in the meantime we suck your oil from northeast of Syria, where Syria has 90% of its oil. What a coincidence. How do you call this? Al Capone, man. Al Capone behavior. China has used its veto power at the UN 8 times to stop resolutions against Assad's government, the latest in July 2020. Chinese authorities also close coordinate with Syrian security services on the presence of thousands of Chinese fighters who are based in Syria, mostly in the last rebel stronghold in the northwestern province of Idlib. Since 2013, thousands of Uyghurs, now they attack right here, they attack, China. And that's it, my friends. The club is forming right in the open, and I said this for more than a year. This will create a different club. The plantation, Al Capone's plantation, part of Chicago is taken, but the rest of state of Illinois is for the grabs. Why? Because you have 94 countries. It depends when you have something and you don't have something. So it's 195 countries, and you have United States, it has its plantation, NATO and European Union, Australia, New Zealand by default, and you got under occupation South Korea and Japan. I say under occupation because you do not have military personnel in United States, only they have on you, and you need to be defended against whom? China, North Korea, those crazies, right? And Russia. Man, you see, the easiest way to control people is with fear. And since people are mostly cowards, and we all have, our fears, but you have to separate or understand when it is an imaginary fear and when it's a real danger, and how much of a danger it is. Because I can scare someone, don't go outside, a car would hit you or could hit you. Well, yeah, it could happen, but if you go around the building a few times, or around the block a few times, you will realize what could happen, could not happen, the probabilities of that, and therefore you go outside and you pay attention, you train yourself, you become more vigilant. You can't just be like a kid, but I'm going outside right now. But you go expose yourself to danger. So these guys create, I think, a lot of unnecessary danger, oh my God, threats on this planet in order to be asked to come and protect. Like Al Capone, protection. I come and protect you, man, from those guys that might attack you. Okay, Al Capone, do you think they might attack me? Definitely they will attack you. That's why I'm here, to protect you. Okay, how much you need? Well, this. Okay, do what I say, and you will stay protected from those dangerous guys over there. Because I am not dangerous. I just invaded a few countries in the past 30 years, but I did it in the name of freedom and democracy. Remember, we found, what's his name? Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction. We looked for Osama bin Laden in Afghanistan. We found him in Pakistan. And then we helped that, we came, we saw, we killed him. Remember, what's her name? Hillary Clinton, when Gaddafi was killed like a... that was a spectacle, but she was laughing. You remember that video? It's still online. Hillary Clinton celebrating the death of, what's his name? Muammar Gaddafi. We came, we saw, he's dead. Where's this? What kind of mentality do you think that person has? Do you think he cares? She cares for you, all right? She has a different mentality, my friends, different than you and I. But hey, she's in charge of us, or at least she was for a while. And anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Assad visits China. We'll see. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.